Did you click on this video in hopes to see someone ERP in VRChat? If so, you're in the right place, you cute little perv. But wait, first, let me explain what ERP is. ERP, it stands for erotic roleplay, which basically means doing the deed, but in VRChat. And you want to know what the biggest benefit of it is? There's a 0% chance you'll get pregnant or catch an STD. But the real question is, how does one even ERP in VRChat? Well, it's simple, with their mouth of course. Wait, not like that. I mean, with their words. Similar to phone sex, but you use a virtual avatar. Now, a big theme in ERP is phantom touch. Phantom touch is where you can actually feel or sense touch through VR, without physically feeling it. So, for example, if I stroke your virtual face, you'll feel it. If I pat your virtual head, you'll feel it. And if I aggressively rub your you get the point. Why people ERP? Okay, so why do people choose to ERP in VRChat? Well, there's so many different reasons, but I'll give you my top 3 reasons why people do it in VR. Number 1, long distance. Some people are in a long distance relationship and can't see each other. So when they feel the urge, they can just do it in VR and feel like they were in the exact same room. Yay, no more awkward FaceTimes of you in uncomfortable positions. A second reason is because of social anxiety. A lot of people suffer from anxiety, which can cause major issues in pursuing relationships, especially sexual ones. So getting in a relationship and being intimate through VR might fix that problem and make it easier for them. A third reason is to experiment. Some people aren't exactly sure what sexual orientation they are. It might be difficult for them to experiment in real life, so instead they choose to do it virtually, without the risk of shame or embarrassment. VRChat is an accepting community that hosts a range of different people. Whether you're questioning if you're gay, trans, non-binary, or heck, even a furry, you can meet others with the same interests as you and dabble in whatever you please. Do's and don'ts. Here are 3 do's and 3 donuts when it comes to ERP and VRChat. Wait, did I say donuts? I meant to say don'ts. But talking about donuts, you can use food when ERPing. I would explain further, but I'm sure you can use your imagination to fill in the blanks. Another do is that you should probably stretch before you ERP. You might need to make sure your body is flexible enough to bend your virtual body in certain positions, if you catch my drift. A third do is that you can use virtual props, whether it's a pen, a bottle, or a plain old fist. VR has unlimited options when it comes to props, but maybe stay away from the bigger objects though. Now, here's what you don't do when it comes to ERP. Do not ERP without verifying their age. Before you participate in any form of ERP, whether it's minor flirting or major acts, make sure you verify their age. You don't want to catch a case. This also means not engaging in mutes until they've verified their age. I mean, you never know who's actually behind the avatar. Number 2, consent. Just like real life, you need consent from your other partner. Please don't run up to random people and start ERPing. Just because it's VR doesn't mean real life rules don't apply. No still means no, okay? And finally, number 3, private worlds. Do not do any form of ERP in public lobbies. No one wants to see it. Also, not to mention the innocent kids that are wandering around. Feel free to do whatever you want in private worlds, but just keep it away from the rest of us, please. Okay, so I found someone who is well known and super experienced in the ERP scene, and so I invited them to an interview.
Did you say that avatar reminded you of your wife's of your wife?
In real life, yes, because my wife is from China, and I've been married
Really?
for 16 years to my lovely wife. Yeah.
Whoa.
And every time I put this on, it reminds me of her because she is actually this thick.
Is she really?
So there you go.
Wow. Does your wife know you do ERP and VRChat?
A lot of people get confused between digital and physical. Like my
Right.
hand can go right through this table, yeah,
Uh-huh.
or right through your face, and I can't
Right.
hurt you. You're just digitally here, but you're not physically really here.
Right.
We're not physically.
We're not in like yeah.
interacting with each other. A lot of people get that confused sometimes and make it very personal. My name is Daniela, or Dan. I am a 41-year-old femboy, and I am a host to quite a few clubs here in VRChat. I've been playing VRChat for about a year now. Also, I'm learning how to half body dance.
When you say half body dance, what does that mean?
So you got 2 types of dances. You got half body, which is basically only your headset here. So when you move to one side, your avatar also moves to one side. Like when you tilt your head this way, it moves that way, yeah, or walks that way. Yeah, if you tilt your head this way, your avatar moves this way it walks that way. Or if you lean forward, it moves forward. Basically, we have Goko Loco positions that we use, like the exhaust, the squat 2, and the relax position. And then we have the log, like the leg lock position, where you can lock your legs and you can move your body to certain positions or certain aspects, like grinding and so forth. We call that half body dances or quest dancers. If you've got a PC, you can use the OVR stuff that you probably got, where you can climb up and through the ceiling. I don't know if you've seen people use it, but they can use that to basically move around. Then you've got full body people, which use the tracking on the legs, the suits, on their arms, the hands. It does take a lot out of you when you do full body dancing because you're wearing all this gear. You generate a lot of heat and a lot of sweat, and you've got to mute your mic because when you're dancing, you have to mute yourself, so they don't hear you heavily breathing.
So how long have you been doing ERP and VRChat for?
Well, I joined about a year ago, so I've been doing it since I heard about it. It was something I was intrigued by because I used to do it a long time ago before it was actually a virtual thing. When VR came about, it's been around for a long time. I'm not sure how long ERP has been around for, but I've been ERPing roughly about good, say, 2 or 3 months now. But it's very hard to get an ERP session. It can be very hard. It can be very tricky.
Why is it hard?
Depends on the person. Like, you got categories of people. Like, you got the submissive people, the switch people, and then you got the dominant people. Myself, I'm a submissive male, so it's very hard for me to find dominant women in VRChat who would find me interested. For switch, yeah, I can find a switch, no problem. Yes, I can get dominated by the switch, but sometimes they want to be dominated themselves, because most people, when they come up to me like, oh, are you a woman or a man? And when they hear my voice, they say, oh, you're a man. Oh, they run away from me. It's just all about luck and basically being flirtatious and taking it nice and slowly. Don't ask straight up for it. It's about working towards it, if you know what I mean. Some people are very lucky and get an ERP session constantly, but for me, because of my age, because I don't really tell people my age, I mostly just keep it under wraps. So when people interact with me, I give them what they want, because I am a pleasure sub. I'm a person who likes giving pleasure to the person who I'm interacting with. And if they want that sort of dominance, even though I'm not dominant, but I can act it in a way, I can sort of like go up to you and sort of like say to you, who's a cute little bunny girl? You are.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, type thing,
Right.
yeah? I don't know much about you. You might like men, you might like women, you might like femboys, I don't know. I went down that road myself, exploring my sexuality in VRChat, exploring what I was into. Yes, it did cause a bit of drama, but in the long run, I found out who I was, what I liked, what I fancied, and what turns me on, and what I like to hear from women, or what I like to hear. You have the internet. I didn't when I was young. Back in my day, people who were like gay, lesbians, or anything like that, yeah, had to basically keep it in a little box, because if you came out, yeah, you would get bullied, get beaten up, all kinds of things, yeah? Consent is the biggest thing when it comes to ERP.
Do you ever get scared that an ERP session might lead to something further, like to the point where it might affect your real life relationship with your wife?
No, not really, because it's just a one night stand thing, really. Because these ERP events, basically the ERP event is basically like this. You turn up at the world, and the main host will basically be at the door. He will stop everyone, or they will stop everyone from running around, right? And he will say this. Rule number 1 is consent is key. Rule number 2, take no as an answer. If someone says no, don't force that person. Everyone's there to have a good time, and everyone's there to interact with each other, talk to each other about their kinks. And if someone does give you consent and everything is good with you and the other person, then take them to the room, lock yourself in the room, and basically
ERP horror stories. Okay, so I went around to find the juiciest, scandalous, and most devious ERP stories that I could find. And boy, did I find some interesting ones. For obvious reasons, I can't share all of them here, but I will be sharing the extra juicy ones on my Patreon if you want to check it out. The link's in the description, cutie. But if not, here are some ERP horror stories. Number 1, secret recordings and threats.
Alright, so basically, me and this girl, we hit up, and well, we knocked it off, of course. And well, me and her started dating for a couple months, and well, after some time, she started bringing about this thing called ERPing, of course, and well, it felt strange at first because, well, to me, it seemed kind of awkward, and I didn't know anything about it, and so I just kind of, laughed it off. and try to avoid it. Eventually, she kind of, got me into it, and well, I decided, kind of embarrassed and, kind of peer pressured, I decided to. I'd realized, though, it kind of was bad for us because, well, she kept doing it every night. It wasn't right. I felt like I was being used and manipulated. It just wasn't good for us or the relationship. So I tried to be kind to her, and I rejected her and broke up with her. And well, with the guilt, I decided to block her. Me thinking all the guilt wasn't gonna catch up, well, let's just say on social medias, I got a message DM from some random user, and well, let's just say it wasn't good. I remember opening up the link, and well, I'd realized it was recordings of our sessions. It was recordings of our sessions, and it's just so embarrassing to talk about. But yeah, it was all recorded, and she never told me about this. And after that, I was too embarrassed, and I felt sick, and it wasn't right. And I realized I messed up. And the worst thing was, well, knowing social medias, everything is on the internet, and you can't delete anything because it stays on the internet forever. So eventually, it reached out to my family and my friends. And well, people never looked at me the same, kinda. And well, I can understand. But still, it still sucks to remember that.
Number 2.
I go to VRChat, I meet this nice girl, I'm still friends with her. She takes me to this area where I didn't know people could do ERP. I also just broke up with one of my VRChat boyfriends, and then I told them about him, and then you don't need him anymore, you got us. We were so close, so quick to where we were family, and we love each other, we'd do anything for each other, and they loved me. You're so cool and cute, and we love you, Right when I put my friend in that group, they basically threw me away and started hanging out with her. They gave her Phantom Touch, they gave me Phantom Touch, so now I feel like I'm cursed with Phantom Touch now. And then what they told her behind my back was, hey, you should leave Zikachu. He's not cool. He's quote unquote, sorry for YouTube, but quote unquote, too horny. Which I don't know how you can be too horny for an ERP group. That's the whole point. These were almost people in the 30s, and they were telling her and a few other 18-year-olds, hey, if you ever need a place to stay, you can come live with me, and I have a spare room. I did dox one of them because they were really acting weird to my best friend. I started making fun of them when they start ERPing, because I used to wake up at 8 in the morning to them just ERPing, and I'd just be I just woke up, I didn't have breakfast yet, I haven't done anything, and I'm getting on this game to say hi, and this is the first thing you guys do. So I just started making fun of them.
Yeah.
And they did not like that. They hated it. I have a message to YouTube. ERP is not a joke. Actually, it's not a joke. If you're in a group of ERP people, they treat you like shit. They treat you like you're just a toy for them. It's not fun. That's the only message I can have for that. It's not fun. What they used to do was that that's how far they would go. If you touch the no-no area, this might be very explicit for you too, but they made me and my best friend ERP in front of them. Toys, contraptions, everything. He made us make out. They didn't care. I had to do it, and I was crying while that was happening.
Jeez, that was scary. Now I don't even want to try ERPing, but it's for the video, so I'll do it. So I wanted to see how easy it would be to find an ERP partner. So I went around to see how quick I could find one. Okay, I'm gonna give myself 90 seconds to see if I can get someone to ERP with me. So timer starts now. Actually, I have to start the timer. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm not gonna talk because, Hey guys, what's up? Why are you all tiny? I have a question. Is anyone over 18?
Yes.
All of us, I think.
Yes.
Awesome. Does anyone want to ERP with me?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
No.
No.
I think it's a bit too early for that.
Why are you laughing? Time doesn't exist, don't worry.
Let me get some coffee first, You gotta
So
wine
is that a
and dine.
deal? Is that a deal, Venix? You wanna do it?
You have to take me on a date.
No,
Toast.
we skip that.
I'm
That comes
expecting the voice
after.
changer.
That comes after. We ERP first.
That comes after.
Yeah.
Toasty, I have a question.
After.
Yeah, sure. What's your question?
Your voice and your avatar, you look familiar.
No, it doesn't. Venix. So is that a deal?
Venix, get an
dinner
ID.
afterwards?
Yeah.
Venix, get
Yeah,
an ID.
I'll pay you dinner afterwards.
Shit, I ain't free, but sure.
You know what?
That was oddly quick, but it goes to show how easy it is to ERP. Now, if you stuck this long to see if I ERP, I don't know if I should applaud you or feel a bit weird, but personally, I wouldn't ERP in VRChat. It's just not my type of thing. I'm more of a get married before getting intimate type of person. But talking about marriage, I actually got married in VRChat and it was an absolute disaster. The plot twists will shock you. Go ahead and check it out. I love you, cutie.